Tick, tock, tick, tock. The sound is familiar, almost comforting. It rules our lives, when to wake, when to work, when to eat, when to rest. But what if I told you this sound is lying to you? Because some of the greatest scientists alive are whispering a dangerous idea. Time itself does not exist. Not that we misunderstand it. Not that it's tricky. But that the very thing you have built your entire life upon, the idea of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, is an illusion. Pause for a second. Let that sink in. If time does not exist, then what does that mean for your past? For your future? For death itself? Here's the haunting truth. The deeper physicists dig into the nature of reality, the more cracks appear in the clock we thought was perfect. And if these cracks are real, then everything you know, your memories, your choices, your destiny, might not be what you think. Picture yourself holding a clock in your hand, the gears turning, the hands moving forward with confidence. Then suddenly you drop it. It shatters against the stone floor. Gears scatter. Springs coil out. The glass face splinters. And now the ticking stops. Did time just end? Or was time never inside the clock to begin with? For centuries, we believed it was. Isaac Newton declared time to be absolute, unbending, universal. It flowed endlessly forward. The same for kings and peasants, planets and stars. Time, he said, was God's clock, and humanity believed him. But then came a man who shattered the gears of that sacred clock. Albert Einstein. Einstein revealed something terrifying. Time is not absolute. It bends. It stretches. It slows. Imagine two brothers. One stays on Earth. The other boards a spaceship traveling close to the speed of light. When he returns, decades have passed on Earth. His brother has grown old, but he has aged only a few years. Which one's time was real? The shocking answer, both. This isn't science fiction. This is relativity. This is why astronauts orbiting Earth age slower than us. It's why GPS satellites must constantly correct for time dilation, or your phone's location would be off by kilometers each day. So here's the how factor. Time is not one river. It is many. It bends near gravity. It stretches with speed. It is different depending on where you stand in the universe. And that raises the question. If time can bend and warp, was it ever real in the first place? In 1971, scientists Haffel and Keating flew atomic clocks on airplanes around the world. When the planes landed, the clocks no longer matched those on the ground. The moving clocks had ticked slower. Think about that. These machines, designed to measure time perfectly, were disagreeing with each other. Time itself had changed. But rivers don't flow faster for one traveler and slower for another. Shadows don't stretch for some and shrink for others. Yet time does. That is the first crack in the illusion. If time is truly flowing, why doesn't it flow the same for everyone? And if it doesn't, is it even flowing at all? Now let's fall deeper into the quantum world. The microscopic, subatomic realm where particles flicker in and out of existence. Here, time begins to unravel completely. The equations of quantum mechanics, our most successful scientific theory, work perfectly even when time is removed. They don't need time. Reality functions without it. Worse still, particles can become entangled. Split one particle into two, send them light years apart, and still, instantly, one responds to the other. No signal, no delay, no time. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, and it terrified him, because it suggested that time is irrelevant. If reality itself can work without time, then what exactly are we living inside of? Einstein himself, near the end of his life, hinted at a radical truth. The past, present, and future may all exist at once. Time does not flow. It simply is. This is the block universe. Imagine your life as a book. Every page, your childhood, your present moment, your final breath, is already written. You are not creating the story. You are simply flipping through the pages. And here's the hook. In the block universe, your death already exists. Right now. Simply on another page you haven't read yet. So ask yourself, if your future is already real, then what is the meaning of choice? Do you truly have free will? Or are you only acting out a script already written? Maybe time isn't real. Maybe it's a trick of the mind. Neuroscience reveals that your brain doesn't actually perceive reality in real time. It takes raw signals, light, sound, touch, and stitches them into a smooth story. You don't see reality as it is. You see a movie that your brain edits together a fraction of a second later. Without memory, there is no past. Without anticipation, there is no future. The present itself is just a fragile illusion. So ask yourself, are you experiencing time, or are you simply remembering? Think about your dreams. Have you ever lived through hours of dream events, only to wake up and find that only minutes had passed? Or those moments in real life, falling in danger in an accident when seconds feel like slow motion? Time bends in the mind. Time bends in sleep. Time bends in fear. This proves that what we call time is not outside of us. It's inside of us. Our brains create it. If your mind can make time stretch or collapse, is time anything more than a hallucination? Philosophers have wrestled with this for centuries. Saint Augustine once confessed, "What then is time? If no one asks me, I know. If I try to explain, I do not." Modern physicist Julian Barber takes it further. In his book, The End of Time, he argues reality is not a flowing river but a collection of nows, frozen snapshots of existence, and what we call time is simply our mind connecting these pictures. It is not that time flows. It is that consciousness fools us into believing it does. If reality is only frozen frames, then who or what is pressing play? Let's go back to the beginning, the Big Bang. Physicists believe time itself began 13.8 billion years ago, in that first cosmic explosion. But ask the forbidden question, what came before time? At the Big Bang's singularity, the equations break down. There is no before. There is only timelessness. And inside black holes, time itself collapses. Step too close to one, and the idea of tomorrow ceases to exist. If time has a beginning and an end, was it ever fundamental at all? Let me ask you something simple. What is now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but this instant, this very second. The moment you try to hold it, it's gone. The now of the sentence I just said no longer exists. Your brain lags by milliseconds. The present you believe in is already the past. Physicists argue that now is not part of reality at all. It's a creation of the mind. The universe does not recognize your birthday, your deadlines, your anniversaries. These are human stories. The cosmos only recognizes events, not when they happen. So here's the how factor. The present moment feels real, but scientifically, it cannot be defined. Time collapses the second we try to touch it. But wait, if time doesn't exist, then why do we see it moving forward? Why does coffee cool down instead of heating up on its own? Why do eggs break but never unbreak? This is called the arrow of time, and it comes from entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. Systems naturally move from order to disorder. A glass falls and shatters. The pieces never leap back together. A body ages and wrinkles. The skin never unwrinkles itself. Entropy is the illusion maker. It gives us the sensation of direction, the feeling that time flows. But here's the wow factor. The laws of physics themselves don't require time to move forward. The equations work just as well if time runs backwards. So why don't we remember the future? Think about it. You don't remember tomorrow. You only remember yesterday. That's because memory stores entropy. It records increasing disorder. Your brain takes snapshots of the world as it decays, and it strings them into a story. That story feels like time. But it's not time, it's memory. Without memory, would you even believe in time at all? If a fish in a pond had no memory, would it notice the sun setting? Or would every moment feel like the first? Maybe we are the same. Perhaps time is not a river. Perhaps it's just memory dressing up chaos. But here's the twist. If time is only memory, what about time travel? Is it possible to step into the past or the future? Einstein's equations say yes. Wormholes, black holes, and curves in spacetime could, at least mathematically, allow travel backwards or forwards. But here's the paradox. If time isn't real, then what are we traveling through? You cannot journey through an illusion. Maybe time travel is not about moving through time, but shifting between already existing snapshots of the block universe. Not traveling, but jumping. So ask yourself, if you could leap to any frozen page in your life's book, which would you choose? Now let's get darker. If time is not real, what does that mean for death? When someone dies, we believe they are gone, forever trapped in the past. But if the block universe is correct, then every moment of their life is still real, still existing, still eternal. Your grandmother is still laughing in that childhood kitchen. Your friend is still breathing in that one summer night. And you, yes, you are still being born in a hospital room somewhere. If time is an illusion, then death is not the end. It's simply another frozen frame, always there, always waiting. So the how factor is chilling. You never truly vanish. This isn't just modern science. Ancient civilizations suspected it too. The Mayans saw time as a wheel, endless cycles repeating. Hindus believed in Maya, the illusion of reality, including time itself. The Stoics of Greece taught that the cosmos was eternal and cyclical. Even in Christianity, St. Augustine struggled, admitting that time was a mystery that only God could truly comprehend. Across cultures, across ages, humanity has felt the same unease. Maybe the ticking clock is lying. Maybe time is a mask. Modern physics now delivers the sharpest cut yet: the equations of quantum gravity. When scientists attempt to unify Einstein's relativity with quantum mechanics, time vanishes from the math. Physicist Carlo Rovelli says bluntly, "Time is an illusion." He argues, the universe is made of events, not time. There is no past, no future, only interactions. Think about that. The universe does not evolve in time. Time emerges from the relationships between things, between particles, between galaxies, between you and the world. Time is not a stage. Time is a shadow. So what if it's not the universe that contains time, but you? Consciousness could be the ultimate clock. Your awareness is what creates the feeling of flow. When you close your eyes and meditate, minutes vanish. When you're bored, seconds crawl. Your brain is not inside time. Time is inside your brain. If consciousness is the clock, then when your mind stops, does time itself end? Here's a radical thought. What if time doesn't exist? Because we're inside a simulation. In a video game, time is not continuous. It's just frames on a screen, rendered by a computer. If the processor pauses, time halts. Maybe our universe is no different. Time is simply how the simulation orders its frames. Without a player, without a system, there is no flow. And here's the wow factor. If we're in a simulation, then time could be edited, skipped, rewound, even deleted. Now pause. Imagine your life if time was truly gone. No deadlines, no aging, no fear of tomorrow, no regret of yesterday. Every moment eternal, every joy permanent, every pain inescapable. Would that be heaven, or would that be hell? Because if time doesn't exist, then your choices, your regrets, your hopes, may all just be illusions. The truth is both freeing and terrifying. Look around your room. Somewhere, I guarantee, there's a clock. Maybe on the wall, maybe on your phone, maybe glowing quietly on your laptop. The tick, the vibration, the digital numbers, they all whisper the same thing. Time is passing. But here's the secret most people never stop to ask. Those clocks don't measure time at all. They measure movement. The swinging of a pendulum, the oscillation of a quartz crystal, the vibration of a cesium atom. These are cycles, repetitions. They're not time. They're just things happening over and over again. Humans agreed to call one cycle a second, 60 cycles, a minute, 60 minutes, an hour. But those are inventions, agreements, symbols on paper. Remove every clock on Earth, smash every watch, delete every calendar, and time itself would evaporate with them. So here's the how factor. What you call time isn't something you discovered in nature. It's something you invented, an illusion you built for yourself. But then comes the wow factor. If all clocks disappeared tomorrow, would the universe notice? Or would everything simply keep happening, without us realizing anything was missing? If time is only measured by humans, then does time even exist at all? Stand in front of a mirror. You see your hair graying, your skin wrinkling, your muscles weakening. You think, I am getting older. But let me ask you this, older than what? Compared to what? You are not aging in time. You are experiencing chemical processes. DNA is damaged by radiation. Proteins fold incorrectly. Cells replicate with errors. What you call aging is simply entropy at work. Matter shifting states. Here's the twist. Aging feels like time because you narrate it as time. But to the universe, there is no young and old. There is only state and change. Imagine a candle melting. You say, the candle is getting older, but that's your story. What's really happening? Wax heats, molecules vibrate, structures break. Physics doesn't whisper time. It only whispers change. So here's the how factor. If time is an illusion, then so is aging. You aren't getting older. You are only changing form. And here's the hook. If death itself is not the end of time, but only another transformation, then do you ever really die? Now let's dive into Einstein's most dangerous idea. Imagine two twins. One stays on Earth. The other boards a spaceship and flies near the speed of light. Years later, the astronaut returns. And when they stand together again, something shocking is revealed. One twin has aged. The other has not. This is not fiction. This is relativity. Time does not move equally for everyone. It stretches, it bends, it slows. Astronauts orbiting Earth today are literally younger than their siblings. Think about what that means. If time were absolute, none of this could happen. But time is not absolute. It is not fixed. It bends like clay. Here's the wow factor. If two people can experience two different nows, then whose now is real? What if your present is already my past? What if someone, right now, living on a distant planet, already knows how your life ends? And here's the haunting hook. If the universe doesn't agree on a single now, then maybe there is no now at all. Think of reality as a movie. You sit in the theater, the film rolls forward, and you say, this is happening right now. But what if I told you all the frames of that film exist at once? Past scenes, future scenes, every moment frozen already there. You're just watching them in order. That's what Einstein's block universe theory suggests. Every moment, your birth, your first kiss, your last breath, exists eternally unchanging as part of the cosmic film reel. Time doesn't flow. Your consciousness just moves frame by frame. Here's the how factor. If the block universe is true, then free will collapses. Your choices are already written. You are not deciding, you are discovering what was always in the real. So here's the wow factor. Every mistake you regret, every dream you chase, every heartbreak you suffer, was always going to happen. The story of your life isn't being written. It's already finished. You're just reading it, line by line. Hook. If that's true, is your future already watching you? But relativity isn't the end of the story. Quantum physics takes it further into madness. At the quantum scale, particles don't move through time. They exist in superpositions, in multiple states, in multiple nows, until observed. Even stranger, some experiments suggest particles can send influences backwards in time. This is called retrocausality. Imagine flipping a coin tomorrow, and that act reaching back to change the outcome of something you did yesterday. This isn't science fiction. It's real debate in physics right now. Here's the wow factor. If the future can influence the past, then causality, the very chain of cause and effect, breaks down. So let me ask, are you shaping your future? Or is your future already shaping you? So if time is not real, if physics shows us it bends, breaks, and collapses, then why do we feel it so strongly? Because of consciousness. Your brain doesn't record reality. It strings together snapshots. Like a slideshow, you perceive those slides as flow. But that flow is not outside you, it's inside you. Think about it. When you're deeply focused, hours vanish. When you're bored, seconds crawl. Time does not change, the clock inside your head does. Here's the how factor. If consciousness is the only true clock, then time ends when awareness ends. But here's the wow factor. If awareness itself exists outside the illusion, then maybe time's greatest secret is this: you were never inside it to begin with. You are not a prisoner of time. Time is a prisoner of you. But now, as we step beyond the halfway mark of this journey, the ground beneath our understanding begins to dissolve entirely, and what awaits between minute 40 and 60 is nothing less than the dismantling of the very stage upon which our reality plays. Imagine, for a moment, that everything you believe about before and after is nothing more than a convenient mirage, a trick of the nervous system, a survival tool crafted by evolution to keep you alive long enough to pass on your genes. Scientists are now whispering a chilling possibility: that the brain doesn't move through time at all, but instead collapses countless possibilities into a single story, a story it tells you over and over until you believe it. That means the memory of your childhood is not a recording. It is a reconstruction, a hallucination stitched together the moment you recall it. The future you dream of is not waiting ahead. It exists only as a projection cast by your present brain, a probability cloud with no solidity. And the now, the sacred, intimate, present moment you cling to, may already be gone by the time you notice it. Quantum experiments reveal that what we call the present can be disturbed by choices we haven't even made yet, and cosmology tells us that deep inside black holes, time does not just bend. It breaks, becoming meaningless, shredding our sense of sequence into silence. If time can shatter near the edges of gravity, what does that say about the ticking seconds on your wristwatch? Physicists working on loop quantum gravity suggest time itself may be an emergent illusion, a secondary effect of deeper structures we cannot yet see, like foam upon a hidden ocean. But if time emerges, it can also vanish, and if it vanishes, then reality as we know it is not a flowing river at all but an unmoving, eternal sea. Do you see the weight of this? Your life, every breath, every heartbreak, every dream, may not be a fleeting story lost in passing hours. It may be eternally etched into the fabric of a timeless cosmos. And yet, the question remains, if time is not real, then what is moving us forward? Why do we feel change? Why do we suffer? Why do we long for futures and regret our pasts if those futures and pasts are illusions? Perhaps the cruelest possibility is this: time does not exist for the universe, but it exists for you. It is the final prison of consciousness, the one illusion we cannot awaken from while alive. And if that is true, then what waits for us beyond death? Is it the collapse of the illusion, the freedom from the ticking that has stalked us since birth, or something far stranger? Imagine closing your eyes one last time, and instead of silence, instead of an ending, you awaken into a realm where every moment of your life surrounds you simultaneously. The laughter of childhood, the shadows of mistakes, the warmth of love, the ache of loss, all coexisting, eternal, unchanging. That could be the afterlife, not a place, but the totality of everything you ever were, suspended forever in the tapestry of a timeless universe. And now comes the question, the one that keeps scientists awake at night and philosophers trembling. If all of time is already there, waiting, frozen, unmoving, then who or what is the hand that lets us experience it piece by piece? Who is threading the beads of eternity into the illusion of a necklace we call a life? And more importantly, what happens when that hand finally lets go?